Do you have a success journal or a goal journal or a journal in general? Or have you ever thought about having one and you're not sure what to write in it?
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes.
Hi everyone, I'm Jackie and welcome to my channel, Enjoying Life's Journey. So today I wanted to share with you my success journal or my goal journal. I have done a video in the past, and since then I've actually changed up a little bit of what I put in there, as well as what I use as my journal. So I don't want you guys to think of this, I know everyone hears journal and you might think of a diary where you're documenting your thoughts or the events that occurred in the day, but this is more or less what I want to call a success journal, because it's more about mapping out the different goals that you have and working through them, maybe documenting habits that you're trying to form and things like that. So I'm going to show you mine and maybe I will give you guys some inspiration to start your own. Before, I used to just have just normal pads of paper, and I would just write randomly all over in these, and I had several of them. I would have probably 5 of these at a time, all mismatched, and then I would have no way of really going back to reference anything. Who knew what notepad it was in or where it was or anything like that. So and before that, I actually had, in the video I showed several years ago, was an actual journal with just the blank paper, and I just divided it up into different sections. I believe at that time I had a section for short-term goals, long-term goals, gratitude, and maybe something else. Since then, my success journal has evolved, and if you've been following the channel, you know that I am much into personal development, not just in one area of my life, but in several areas of my life. So I have formed my journal to basically help me encompass all of those areas of my life. So this year, I'm trying something different, and I always start my year in July, and I do that for 2 reasons. One, my birthday is in July, so I like to think my year starts in July. As well, I've always been fond of using the academic year, especially if you've been in school or if you run a business, you kind of do things quarterly, or the academic school year, things like that. So your year might start in July. A lot of the new calendars and planners and all of that tend to come out around July as well, because of the back to school season, so you can get some good deals. So this is why I've started my new one here. I actually got this in July. So what I actually did was, because it's back to school, I picked up one of these 5-star notebooks, and it's actually the 5 subject notebook, and I'll bring you down and show you a little more here in a second here, but I just want to show you real quick. They have these, they have the dividers with the pockets in it. This has been working out really good for me. So I'm going to bring you down and show you what areas or what topics I am writing about in here, and kind of some things I'm including in here, and if it helps you guys out in any way to organize your thoughts, organize your goals, and actually start accomplishing some big things, then I've done my job. So let's jump in. Okay, so like I mentioned, I just have my 5 subject 5-star notebook here, and on the back I've just put Jackie's goals / success journal, and then I put the year July 2017 through June 2018. I put in pencil here. I still need to do this up if I want to decorate it, but age 35. And I just put on the bottom here, if found, and my phone number, because this is something I want to be able to cherish and have, and possibly leave for my girls to review, so they can see what were all the things that I was working on, or ideas I had, and things like that. Jim Rohn actually mentioned, Jim Rohn's one of my mentors you guys have seen on the channel here, and he actually mentioned to keep a journal, in that, to keep them so your loved ones can see them later. So anyway, so I have here, like I mentioned, there's 5 sections. So I kind of started messing with it here. So my first section here is going to be my personal section, and I just use a pencil. I really like these mechanical pencils, so I primarily just use this. If you guys are really into, you guys can get those cool stamps and the pens and all kinds of stuff. You can do so much stuff with this if you guys wanted to do it up. But basically, this is just my personal section, so my personal growth, my personal goals. So the plan is, moving forward, I haven't got to it yet, is to use this whole side as almost like a mini vision board. So I'm going to be adding pictures and things like that here. And then what I've done also in here is I've actually divided up this section here into two sections. And so I just fold one piece of paper in half, and I almost use this as like a table of contents here. So this is my personal growth and goals. So I have, I want to list things that I want to learn, fun I want to have, and the achievements I've made. And then in this section, it's notes for any of the books that I'm reading, or the videos I watch, or the courses I take. These are quotes I've just put all over because, I might be listing quotes randomly throughout here. And questions to ask myself. This is something new I thought was really good, but this is a good way to get you jump starting into finding out what goals do you want? What are you working for? And then a list of books to read and courses I want to take. So again, this is about my personal development, my goals. Here I kind of just drew this. It's called the cone of learning, and you guys know I'm all about learning here. So it just kind of gives you a perspective of whether you've read something or heard something or seen it, or heard and seen it, or you're talking about it, discussing it, teaching it, or you're doing it, how much of that information you're going to retain 2 weeks after doing that task. So this is just a reminder to myself that ultimately the best way to retain anything is to do it. The next best thing is to discuss it, to talk about it, to teach it. And so that's why I teach you guys everything that I learn, so I can ultimately learn it better. And then here is just a little wake up for all of us here. From the time we're born until we're 90 years old, we have 32,850 days. And when you write it out like that, it's not that many days to be living. So I'm 35, so I minused out how many days. So I basically, until I'm 90, I have 20,440 days left. So I want to start making some use of my time here. I know it might sound a little crazy, but that's what it is. So again, so that's just, my areas here. And then I put on here, I have here my ultimate life vision, or I am statements. So just some affirmations that I have. I've written them over here, and these are just things that I can say to myself each day. You guys obviously can make up your own. And then here, just like a habit that I'm forming within this area. So here, I'm really trying to read 30 minutes every day. I read pretty much every day, but I have fallen off a little bit, so I want to reestablish this habit of reading for 30 minutes every day. I do a lot of audio. I listen to a lot of audio, I watch a lot of videos, but I want to get back to physically reading a book. There's a different theory of how long it takes you to form a habit. Some people say 21 days, 30 days, 100 days, whatever, 66 days. I'm going to shoot for 66 days in a row, so I'm, keeping track of that. So again, you guys, you can put whatever you want in here. And then fun to have. So we are trying to plan a cruise, so I have information there. That's just a little plug there, you guys. You will learn more about that later. And then again, I have a list of books that I want to read. It's a long one. And then, like I was mentioning, questions to ask yourself. So I have a few questions on here to ask myself. I haven't sat down and done it yet. If you're interested in that, I can do a separate video on those. But let's jump into my second section. So my second section is my spiritual and health and fitness. So kind of like my personal well-being, if you will, as far as the personal growth and the personal goals are more about, me growing as an individual, learning and having fun. And then this is more about, my well-being. So again, these have little pockets in here. So anything, any notes, anything I've done in the past, I've just stuck In here, I will eventually maybe transfer some of that into the actual, if I want to rewrite any of that into the folder, I will. Again, I'm going to decorate it up as my vision board for this area. So once I start decorating it for my vision board, there's a good chance I will be moving some of these, but I liked that it had the pockets here. And again, I have divided it up into, within the one section, I've divided it up into two sections. So I have here my spiritual laws. So the girls and I, we actually do the 7 spiritual laws by Deepak Chopra. So we have one spiritual law that has basically 3 activities that we focus on daily. So I'm going to start writing those in here. Habit to form, I'm not working on a habit for that right now. But again, it's just blank for now because it's work in progress. But one of the spiritual laws is, being grateful. So I will be having a section in here for gratitude where we'll be doing our gratitude, our weekly gratitude in there, and anything else. So again, you guys can put, whatever you want in that section. Health and fitness. So I do have forming a habit. I have here floss teeth every morning. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it daily. I have gotten off of that, and I found out that if you floss your teeth every single day, you will add 6.4 years to your life. So this is, pretty cool. So I'm on a good track here. I know it might sound silly. But yeah, so anything else I can write in here. If I'm tracking nutrition, I can put that in here. If I'm tracking my fitness, if I have new goals, that's what would be put in my health and fitness. Also, I like to keep track as I get going. I keep track of how I'm feeling, especially after I eat anything. If you guys have watched a few of my food videos, my minimalist food videos, I mentioned I like to try to maintain the way I feel through what I'm eating. So yeah. My next section here is my environment and finances. So I kind of combine these together because it's kind of like my home life, if you will. And again, so any random notes I had before are in here. I'll be using this as my vision board. As well, I have over here, for my environment, I have a little IKEA thing here because I have a bookcase and a desk that I would like to get for my home office. So that will be, that's in here, so I can keep track of that. So again, I've done it into 2 sections here. And I just folded it. So environment, I don't really have a list here of what I'm going to be putting in here yet. I had just a little to-do list last week. So, kind of just random stuff. But like I mentioned, my home office, I had put a little idea of where I want my desk and everything in our bedroom to do my home office. And then finances, again, you guys know that I do my budget on Excel, so that will always stay on Excel. But if I'm talking about new goals or I'm learning new things about investing or anything like that, it would go in here. So notes and lessons is kind of basically what I'm putting in here to continue growing. Now this section is business, so I have kind of given this its own entity because I have a few different things going on at the same time, so I feel like it needed more room. Again, any previous notes and things that I had laying around, I now have it all in one spot, and this will become my vision board. Super excited to start working on a vision board. Okay, so for business, I've actually divided it up into, I believe 3 sections here. So the first section, I just put my business goals, what do I need to learn, and achievements, so I can always make sure I'm keeping track of my progress. The second one is business ideas, my workflow, and then my business finances. So again, you guys can put whatever you want in here. You might even want like a brain dump. Oh, that's already over. You might have a section for brain dumping within these sections, however you want. So my last section here are my relationships and making an impact, or teaching my kids. So I do homeschool, so I not only teaching my kids is not just about academics, but it's about teaching them life skills, relationships, my husband and my family, as well as community, and then friends, family, all that. And then making an impact to me is more, you know, what am I contributing to? What am I giving back to my community? And again, this will be my vision board once I get to that section. So I just put here, I divided this into 3 sections as well. So I know I have relationship goals, Ricky, my girls, my family, my friends, my community. So I know I can have, you know, a few pages for each, and I can write out specific goals I have for those areas and start making progress on them. The second one is teaching my kids. So what life lessons do I want to teach them, what academics, and about finances. I feel like finances should get their own thing because a lot of us are not taught a lot of this stuff in school. And then the last one, making an impact. Okay, so what am I donating? Where am I volunteering? What do I want to advocate? What am I teaching? And how am I inspiring others? So this is just, you know, this is my base for my success journal for the new year. And so like I said, I have some vision boards to do and some goals to write. So that's my success journal. You can call it your journal or your goal journal. I like saying success journal because like you saw in there, there's a few sections where I actually will be keeping track of my achievements. And it is about goals and working those goals, but also you can use it in a journal in a sense, like I said, tracking your habits. So you can also document, you know, things like how are you feeling, what's your mood, what kind of foods are you eating, how are they making you feel, are you working out, you know, so you saw I have plenty of sections in my thing. So basically within each section, I will probably have goals listed and a brain dump of ideas, if you will, and then some type of habit tracking area within those sections. That's basically how I use mine. So I'd love to hear from all of you in the comments below. Let me know, do you have a journal? Do you call it a journal? Do you call it a success journal? What supplies are you using to make your journal? And what type of fun information are you putting in there? And again, I like to think of it more of something that I can leave behind that anyone can read and be inspired from, as opposed to a diary where, you know, you're locking it up and you don't want anyone to read about it. This is something I think everyone should be able to share. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was helpful in any way. As always, thanks for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.